Is reality created by the mind? Unlocking the truth with Buddhism and science. Does your mind shape the reality you experience? Or is it simply a mirror reflecting the world around you? This question has puzzled philosophers, scientists, and spiritual seekers for centuries. But what if the answer isn't as simple as we think? What if the mind isn't just an observer of reality, but an active creator of it? Today, we're diving deep into this age-old question from both the lens of ancient Buddhist teachings and the latest insights from neuroscience. By the end, you may just start seeing the world and your mind through a whole new perspective. What is the mind? Buddhist perspective. In Buddhism, the mind is not just the intellect, nor is it limited to our ability to reason or solve problems. It's a much broader concept, encompassing the entirety of our mental activity. The Buddhist teachings in the Dhammapada emphasize this idea when it says, "Mind is the forerunner of all states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind-made." This statement suggests that the mind isn't merely a passive observer, but rather the driving force behind all of our experiences, thoughts, and perceptions. The term citta, used in ancient Buddhist texts, goes beyond our thinking mind to include our emotions, sensory experiences, and even our basic awareness of being alive. This idea paints a picture of the mind as a vast, interconnected network, actively shaping the world we experience. It's not just about what we think or how we feel, it's about how those thoughts and feelings interact to form our reality. This view challenges the more conventional understanding that the mind is simply a passive recorder of external events. Modern science, interestingly, modern neuroscience has started to converge with this ancient understanding. Dr. Andrew Huberman, a well-known neuroscientist, argues that our brains do not passively receive reality. Instead, our brains actively construct our experience of the world. As we take in sensory information, what we see, hear, and touch, our brains integrate that data with past experiences and expectations, creating a model of reality that guides our understanding of the present moment. This aligns with the Buddhist view of the mind as a dynamic and active force, not just a neutral observer. The mind, according to both Buddhism and neuroscience, is inextricably linked to the way we experience the world. What we think, feel, and expect can alter our perception, shaping how we interact with reality. How does our mind create our experience? Buddhist teachings on habits and tendencies. In Buddhist philosophy, it's said that our habitual thoughts and patterns, those things we constantly dwell on, ultimately shape the very fabric of our mind. In the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha teaches, "Whatever one frequently thinks and ponders upon, that will become the inclination of their mind." This insight reveals a profound truth about the way our minds operate. Our repeated thoughts, actions, and emotions form mental grooves that shape how we respond to the world, leading to the creation of personal tendencies, reactions, and beliefs that influence our every experience. This principle suggests that the nature of our thoughts, whether positive or negative, productive or unproductive, creates a kind of mental landscape within us. If we constantly think about fear or anxiety, for example, we are reinforcing these feelings and expectations, which then filter our experience of reality. Over time, these mental habits become deeply ingrained, shaping the lens through which we view the world. Neuroscience on the brain's predictive process. In a similar vein, modern neuroscience provides a fascinating parallel to the Buddha's teachings. Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, a prominent neuroscientist, explains that our brains act as a prediction machine. Instead of merely reacting to the world around us, our brains continuously build internal models based on past experiences. These models help us predict what's happening in the present moment, allowing us to navigate life with speed and efficiency. The brain uses these predictions to make sense of incoming sensory information, interpreting it based on what we've learned in the past. What's fascinating is that these predictions are influenced by our past habits. Just as the Buddha said, the more we experience and dwell on certain thoughts or emotional states, the more our brain's predictions become shaped by those experiences. This process of prediction is at the core of how we interact with the world. It's not just about reacting to external stimuli, but about anticipating and filtering reality through the lens of our mental habits. How can we see things more clearly? Mindfulness practice. If the mind plays such an active role in shaping our experience, how can we begin to separate the raw data of reality from the mental filters we've built over time? This is where Buddhist practice, particularly mindfulness, offers a powerful solution. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention, intentionally and non-judgmentally, to the present moment. It is about observing our experiences without overlaying them with labels, judgments, or interpretations. In the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha teaches, when seeing, just see, when hearing, just hear. This practice of bare attention helps us experience things directly, as they truly are, without the usual mental commentary that distorts our perception. Instead of thinking, that's a bird, or that's a nice sound, we simply acknowledge the raw sensation, sound, or vision, without the layers of judgment or identification. Through this process, we begin to see how our minds are constantly coloring our experiences. When we stop adding thoughts like, I like this, or I don't like this, we can begin to perceive reality with greater clarity and accuracy. This ability to unfilter our perception is not only a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, but also a way to cultivate a deeper sense of awareness. Scientific support for mindfulness. Interestingly, modern neuroscience has also begun to explore why mindfulness works. Dr. Richard Davidson, a leading neuroscientist in the study of meditation, has shown that mindfulness practices can lead to a state of pure awareness. This state of awareness is one where we experience the world directly, without the constant commentary of our thinking minds. We simply become present with what's happening, without getting lost in mental narratives or judgments. Research on the brain's default mode network, DMN, by Dr. Judson Brewer has revealed that experienced meditators show reduced activity in this network. The DMN is active when we're engaged in mind-wandering, self-referential thinking, or ruminating on past experiences. By reducing the activity in this part of the brain, mindfulness allows us to be more present in the moment, offering a greater sense of clarity and insight. This direct experience of reality is exactly what the Buddha pointed to when he spoke of seeing things without the filters of conceptual thinking. It's about being in the moment, fully aware of our surroundings, thoughts, and sensations, but without becoming entangled in them. Mind and reality. Buddhist concept of co-arising. After exploring how our minds actively shape our experience, we arrive at the central question: what is the true relationship between the mind and reality? Buddhist philosophy, particularly through the teachings of Nagarjuna, provides a profound insight into this dynamic. Nagarjuna's concept of co-arising suggests that mind and reality are not separate, independent entities, but rather interdependent and inseparable. In other words, reality and perception arise together, continuously influencing and shaping one another. This teaching challenges the idea that reality exists independently of the mind. It's not that the mind creates reality out of nothing, nor that reality is completely independent of the mind. Instead, both arise together in a fluid, interconnected process. The mind and reality are like two dancers in a constant, ever-changing dance, each shaping the other in an ongoing process of mutual interaction. This view aligns with the idea that our perception of the world is not static. It is dynamic, shaped by both external conditions and internal mental states. This interdependence, or pratitya samutpada, dependent origination, is a cornerstone of Buddhist thought. It teaches that everything arises based on conditions and causes, and nothing exists in isolation. Our minds, therefore, are not simply passive observers but active participants in the ongoing creation of reality. The world around us and our minds are in a constant state of interaction, influencing and shaping each other. Modern scientific views on mind-reality interaction. Interestingly, modern science is beginning to echo this ancient wisdom. Dr. Francisco Varela, a neuroscientist and philosopher, described the relationship between mind and reality as a kind of dance in his work on embodied cognition. He proposed that mind and world are not separate. Instead, they are mutually constructed through continuous interaction and feedback loops. This concept, known as enactaion, suggests that our perception of the world is not a passive reflection of external reality, but an active process of co-creation between the mind and the world. Similarly, Dr. Donald Hoffman, a cognitive scientist, presents his interface theory of perception, which compares our perception of reality to a computer desktop. Just as the icons on a computer screen are not the actual files or processes within the computer, our perception of the world is not the underlying reality itself. Rather, it is a simplified interface that helps us interact with a deeper, more complex reality that we cannot directly perceive. These scientific perspectives, though not identical to Buddhist teachings, share a common thread. They emphasize the deep interconnection between mind and reality. They challenge the traditional view that reality is something external and independent, instead pointing to a more dynamic, participatory relationship. How can we apply this in life? As we've explored, both Buddhist philosophy and modern science point to the active role of the mind in shaping our experience of reality. So, what does this mean for our daily lives? How can we use this understanding to live with more clarity, presence, and wisdom? Mindful living. The key lies in the practice of mindfulness. By cultivating mindfulness, we can begin to see through the filters and mental patterns that shape our experience. Instead of passively reacting to life based on our past conditioning, mindfulness allows us to become more present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise. It provides us with the space to observe these experiences without getting caught up in them, enabling us to respond with greater clarity and less reactivity. This is where the two arrows parable from the Salatha Sutta becomes particularly relevant. The Buddha compares the suffering we experience in life to being struck by two arrows. The first arrow is the unavoidable pain of life. Whether it's physical discomfort, emotional distress, or the challenges we face in the world. The second arrow, however, is the additional suffering we create with our mental reactions. We often add layers of judgment, resistance, and anger to the initial pain, making it worse than it needs to be. Mindfulness helps us avoid the second arrow. By practicing awareness and non-attachment, we can experience the pain of the first arrow without getting lost in the mental narratives and reactions that create additional suffering. This simple but profound shift allows us to navigate life with greater skill and wisdom, reducing unnecessary suffering and cultivating a deeper sense of peace. Living with greater clarity. By recognizing that our minds actively construct our experience of reality, we can learn to live with greater awareness of how we perceive the world. The insights from both Buddhism and modern science offer us a powerful path to a more empowered and compassionate way of being. By understanding the mind's role in shaping reality, we can work to cultivate a more mindful and conscious relationship with the world around us. This is not just a philosophical idea. It's a call to action. It's an invitation to wake up to the profound interconnectedness of mind and reality and to embrace a life that is grounded in mindfulness, wisdom, and love. The journey toward this realization begins with each mindful breath, each conscious moment. It's a path of transformation, one that holds the potential for greater peace, clarity, and freedom in our lives. We've explored how the mind shapes our experience of reality, drawing from both ancient Buddhist wisdom and modern neuroscience. Now, it's time for you to take action on this knowledge. Mindfulness is the key to seeing the world more clearly and reducing unnecessary suffering in your life. By cultivating a mindful practice, you can start living with more awareness, compassion, and clarity. Begin by taking a few moments each day to simply observe your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. This small but powerful step can transform the way you interact with the world, allowing you to break free from habitual reactions and live with greater peace. If this video has inspired you to look deeper into the way your mind shapes your reality, take the next step today. Practice mindfulness and watch as your life begins to change. Share this video with others who might benefit from these insights. Let's spread the wisdom of mindfulness and help each other navigate life with greater clarity and compassion. Like, comment, and share if you found this video helpful. And don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on more content that will help you live a more mindful and empowered life. Together, let's explore the transformative power of mindfulness and awareness.